Good afternoon. It's been a couple of weeks anyway, since I've done a little garden update with my heirloom tomatoes. So we're going to take a walk through here this afternoon. We had a pretty bad storm here earlier today, but nothing got knocked down. I had to flip over a couple of zucchinis, but other than that, the tomatoes fared well. Had a couple of bad storms blow through this week. Had a bunch of tornadoes, not around here, but north of us. It's been pretty crazy weather here lately, and it'll get real hot. But let's check out the garden and see what's going on. All right, we'll check out the tomatoes. I'm just going to go down the rows like I did before. Let you see how each one's doing in its separate row from the other ones. And this is one of the reasons I planted them apart, because some of them are dying in this area and some of them are doing good in this area, and all these different varieties are just behaving differently. Alright, this first one's the barred boar. It's not looking too good. It grew up really pretty for a while in that first video, then it got up here. Something crazy going on. I don't know if it's some kind of disease. If you know, please put it in the comments. All these little tiny leaves. I've read something called small leaf syndrome. I don't even know if that's a thing, but it sounds like a pretty good description of what's going on with this one. This is a Berry's Crazy Cherry. This one is not looking too good. I don't know what's up with it. Doesn't like its spot. Don't know what's going on with it. This is Brad's Atomic Grape. It's doing pretty atomically great. But it's got a nice size. It's got lots of flowers. I think it's going to do real good. I've heard from someone that they do good in my area, and this one's looking great. It's about 3 foot tall already. Anyways, that one's looking good. This here monster is the Black Beauty. This is the one I had hardly any germinate, but it seems, I think I said it in the last video, it's doing real good. Still doing great. It's got big old stems, flowers all over it. Looks like a little tomato there starting on this one. But anyways, it's pretty big, pretty nice. And this is the true black brandywine, and there's a dang caterpillar on it. But it's doing real good. It got a little tomato here, a little tomato here. But it looks good. That's all those. They're looking pretty nice. And right here, definitely a tomato that is not doing good in my area, is the Sunrise Bumblebee. I planted one here. It's already died, and I put a red brandywine in its place, and it's starting to take off. It's got a little bit of new growth on there. I don't have any other red brandywines in my garden, so hopefully this one will do all right. This right here is the Lucky Tiger. It's very wispy looking, but I've read it's supposed to look like that. It's doing pretty good. Got beat by the rain a little bit, but I think it's fine. It's doing okay in that spot. And this is a Dr. Witchy's Yellow. It's really big. It's doing real good. It's got flowers all over it. And I think it's still going to do good. There's my sunflowers. They're growing. It's my skyscraper and mammoth sunflowers. They're getting pretty dang big already. Alright, here is the next row. Everything looks better in this row. This is the Dr. Witchy. It's looking big. Then you got your Lucky Tiger right there. It looks good. It's growing all over the place. I gotta cut them ones off the ground. Just haven't done it yet. And once again, the Sunrise Bumblebee. Looks like somebody put a torch to it. Don't know what's up with it. Here's a true black beauty. That thing's massive and looks really good. I think it's gonna do great. Knock on wood. And here's a black beauty, another black beauty. Huge, looking good. I actually got some little tomatoes on here. They said where the sun hits it is what turns it black, and you can see where these little things here block the sun. It's got green stripes on it. We got some tomatoes going on there. More flowers up here. But that's a great looking plant too so far. And here's Brad's Atomic Grape. It's doing good, just like the one in the other row. It's all over the place. And this Berry's Crazy Cherry is doing 50 times better than the one over there. It's doing real nice. And here is a barred boar that's doing great. It doesn't have that weird top knot thing going on like that one. I think it's gonna be great. It's huge, love it. And the nasturtiums are really starting to fill out now. There's some more sunflowers. Those are supposed to grow to like 12, 15 foot tall. I hope they make it. That's gonna be cool to see. All right, and for the last row, more nasturtiums, more sunflowers. And here's a nice barred boar, looking good. Here's a Berry's Crazy Cherry, looking good on this row. Got a Brad's Atomic Grape, looking good on this row. And then this black beauty, I think it's dying a horrible death. I may ought to pull it up and get it out of here. It's looking like it's got some kind of blight, crazy something going on. Whatever it is, he ain't gonna make it. This true black brandywine, it's just a beautiful plant. It's going to do great, I think, right there. And look at this. So weird, this sunrise bumblebee is doing great right here. Those other two are just pitiful. And this is just growing all over the place. There's a stupid moth on it. But I hope it produces some fruit. That'll be great. This Lucky Tiger's doing really good. And then this Dr. Witchy is doing terrible. I don't know what's up with it. So basically it looks like out of all my rows I got 2 out of 3 doing good, and it's kind of random. Like that one's doing bad, this one's doing good. Anyways, don't know what's causing it. Experimenting with these different varieties to see which one does the best here. Right now I'm gonna say the sunrise bumblebee is not too good for here. But then I look at this one and I'm like, well, who knows? So I've done something wrong. If you got any ideas, leave them in the comments. I really tried to treat all these rows the same as far as just doing that initial fertilization when I planted them. I think a couple of weeks ago I put some fish emulsion on them all, but I haven't done anything to them. We've had a couple hard rainstorms that beat them to death, but they've held up through that. Show you some other stuff in the garden. Here's my Aunt Molly's Ground Cherries. They got some little ground cherries on them. They're doing real good, I think. I really don't know what they're supposed to look like. I've seen pictures of them, but I don't know anybody that's grown them. They're doing pretty nice. And here's another one. That one didn't do good. I don't know what happened to it. And there's some Cape gooseberries. They look the same, but they're supposed to have different fruits on them and get bigger. Got little flowers. Got a few gooseberry berries here and there. Those are doing real good. And such a huge difference from the last video, these zucchinis. Look at these massive things already. They've just taken off since that last rain. They're doing awesome. I need to pull some grass out from underneath them. But they're doing great. They're full of fruit. Not fruit, whatever, vegetable. Loaded with flowers. I don't remember having this many flowers on my zucchinis for a while. But look at this leaf. That's my hand on it, so it's a good, golly, very far across. There's one growing there. And just look at all those flowers in there. It's going to be loaded. They're just huge. My squash are finally starting to take off. This one's got a few little squash on it. Gonna be nice. I mean, it's just loaded with squash. I don't know if you can see that, but there's probably 30 squash on that. Maybe not 30, but it's a bunch. I don't think I've ever had that many on a squash at one time before. And these look pretty good. This one's kind of getting really big. A couple of them I had to replant because they didn't make it, and I started another one, so they're catching up pretty quick though. They're not as big. Still looking good. I think I'm gonna have a good crop out of them. And here's my green beans. They're doing pretty good. And my butter beans. They're not doing too great. I've never grown them before, I don't think. But maybe they'll fill in here later. Got a little jalapeno plant stuck in the end because I didn't have nowhere to put it. Something else I've been growing, I cut it all back beginning of this season and just have been letting it grow, but it's doing really awesome now. These thornless blackberries, these things are huge. I got some on my Instagram page. Picked a few that are ripe, but these things are awesome. They make a lot of big berries, about 1.5 inches long. They produce on through the summer. This thing is loaded, looking awesome. And I got a couple of offshoots that grew up over there. I'm probably gonna transplant them over in this row. And this one's doing good. I got these as transplants from my sister's plant. She had a huge one. We dug them up and planted them over here. So that's it for the vegetable garden for this afternoon. If you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss any updates. And you can follow along with growing these heirloom tomatoes and see whether I can keep them alive or not. See what I got a lot of interesting types of plants, different colored tomatoes, things I've never grown before, things I've never seen or tasted before. It's gonna be real interesting as the season goes along. See if these things make it. And appreciate you watching. We'll see you next time.